My name is Nina Caldwell. I'm 35 years old, standing in the heart of a lakeside resort in Lake Tahoe, where the air carries the sharp scent of pine and the faint ripple of waves against the shore. The sun dips low, casting golden streaks across the water, and the clink of wine glasses punctuates the hum of conversation. My mother-in-law, Darlene, has just made another cutting remark, loud enough for the entire table to hear, about how I forgot the salad dressing, as if I'm one of her hired caterers scurrying to meet her demands. I'm not. I'm an engineer. For over a decade, I've designed intricate systems for high-speed rail networks across the Pacific Northwest, crafting solutions that connect cities and move thousands of lives forward every day. My work is about precision, about building something that endures under pressure. It's about seeing the bigger picture when others see only parts. But to the Caldwell family, especially Darlene, I'm just Ben's quiet wife who does something with computers. They've never asked what I do. Never cared to know the woman behind the polite smile. Every summer at this annual family retreat, I arrive with my carefully packed suitcase and my even more carefully packed patience. I nod through their forgetfulness, how they serve me pork despite my dietary restrictions, how they assume I've brought nothing to the table, figuratively or literally. They talk over me, their voices a wall of noise, as if I'm no more significant than the polished mahogany chair I sit on. I've learned to let their assumptions slide, to let their casual dismissals roll off me like rain on glass. But each slight leaves a mark, a tiny fracture in the facade I've built to survive these gatherings. This year, though, is different. This year, I'm not just a guest blending into the background. I'm the reason the reservation system was overhauled, streamlining a process that used to frustrate even the most patient guests. I'm the one who ended the family discount the Caldwells have leaned on for years, assuming it was their birthright. I'm the one who redesigned the menu, trading their predictable steak and potatoes fare for dishes that celebrate the region's bounty. Wild mushroom risotto, fresh-caught trout, huckleberry tarts. I own this resort. They just don't know it yet. Let me take you back to where this began. Ben and I have been married for 11 years. He's a tenured professor at a small liberal arts college, brilliant in his quiet, introspective way. His lectures on 19th century literature are the kind that leave students scribbling furiously, hanging on his every word. He's kind, too, in the way he leaves me notes on the fridge or holds my hand during turbulent flights. But when it comes to his family, Ben is a bystander. He doesn't push back when Darlene asks me to clear plates while the other wives, draped in designer scarves, sip their drinks undisturbed. He stays silent when she introduces me as Ben's wife from one of those schools out west, as if my degree from Caltech, earned through sleepless nights and relentless grit, is some vague, inconsequential thing. He didn't even blink last year when Darlene, 3 glasses of Chardonnay deep, called me sweet but basic within earshot, her words slicing through the warm July air. Each comment was a wound, small but cumulative. They piled up over the years, a weight I carried silently, hoping one day they'd see me. I wasn't always this quiet. As a girl in a small Oregon town, I was the one who asked too many questions, who dismantled radios and clocks to understand their inner workings. My parents, hardworking but stretched thin, couldn't afford college, so I forged my own path. I worked 2 jobs, barista by day, data entry clerk by night, to pay for community college, then earned scholarships to Caltech. I graduated with honors, my heels clicking across the stage in shoes I'd saved months to buy. I built my career from nothing, taking overtime shifts, studying engineering texts late into the night, and learning to invest my modest savings. While the Caldwells posted about their European vacations and new lake houses, I was quietly building a life, brick by hard-earned brick. I never demanded their respect. In my early years with Ben, I hoped, naively perhaps, that they'd see my worth, that they'd ask about my work, my dreams, or even my favorite book. But they didn't. So I stopped trying to prove myself to them. I turned my energy inward towards something I could control. 7 years ago, I started investing. It began small, a stake in a boutique hotel in a struggling coastal town, a place others overlooked. I'd always loved systems, and hospitality was just another kind, a network of people, processes, and potential. I partnered with a mentor from my engineering days, a woman who saw my hunger and taught me to analyze markets, cash flows, and opportunities. Together, we built a fund, Clear Pines Hospitality Group, and I poured my silence into it, every unspoken retort, every swallowed slight. My investments grew, as did my vision. I wasn't just buying properties, I was creating spaces where people could feel seen, valued, cared for. Then, last year, this resort, the Caldwell's beloved summer escape, hit the market. It was a stretch, a risk that made my palms sweat. I drained my liquidity, every cent I'd saved, to buy it through my holding company. It wasn't about revenge, though I'd be lying if I said the thought didn't cross my mind. It was about reclaiming space, about owning something they'd always assumed was beyond me, about proving to myself that I could build something extraordinary, even if they never noticed. Now, here I am, in an Old Navy sundress amid a sea of Ralph Lauren polos and linen blazers, being asked by Ben's brother Mark to fetch napkins like I'm part of the staff. I comply, as I always have, carrying the stack back to the table with a smile that feels like a mask. But inside, I'm counting down the hours, my heart a steady drumbeat of anticipation. Tomorrow, everything changes. Tomorrow night at the resort's annual ownership summit, the manager will announce that Clear Pines has taken majority control. He'll name the new owner. And every set of Caldwell eyes, Darlene's sharp gaze, Mark's dismissive smirk, Lauren's perpetually bored expression, will turn to me. Even Ben doesn't know. Not because I hid it, but because he never asked. He's never questioned my late-night calls with investors, my weekend trips to properties in distant cities, or the folders of financial models on my desk. He's never seen the fire that drives me, the part of me that thrives on building something from nothing. I've stopped waiting for him to notice. The day unfolds like every other retreat. Brunch by the lake where mimosas flow and complaints simmer. Lauren, Ben's sister, whines about the new check-in system, calling it too corporate as she scrolls her phone. Uncle Ron grumbles about the valet, claiming the service was better back in the day. Haley, Ben's cousin, sighs dramatically, saying the resort lost its charm since it stopped being family-run. Their voices blend into a chorus of entitlement, each complaint a reminder of how little they see. Ben nods along, ever the peacemaker, suggesting we leave a review on Yelp. I bite my tongue until it H. That faceless corporation they're tearing apart, it's mine. I'm the one who raised staff wages, ensuring the housekeepers and cooks could afford to stay in this overpriced tourist town. I'm the one who replaced the moldy HVAC systems, who installed the lake filtration system they're now enjoying as they sip their drinks. I spent months poring over guest feedback, redesigning the experience to make this place thrive. But they'll never see that, because they've never looked beyond their own assumptions. That night, the family gathers in the private dining hall, its chandeliers casting a warm glow over starched tablecloths. Darlene, as always, has dictated the dress code, resort formal. I wear a navy sheath dress, simple but elegant, and the same heels I wore at my Caltech graduation. They're scuffed now, but they carry the weight of my journey. I try to endure the evening, the small talk about stock markets and summer homes, the veiled digs about new management ruining their traditions. But then Darlene raises her glass for a toast, her voice commanding the room. I just hope whoever bought this place understands that families like ours built its reputation, she says, her tone thick with self-importance. We're not just guests. We're the reason this place has value. The words hit like a slap. My chest tightens, a decade of swallowed slights rising like bile. I excuse myself and step outside, the cool night air a balm against my flushed skin. I pull out my phone and call Ethan, the resort manager, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. Is the announcement still on for tonight? I ask. Just say the word, he replies, his tone calm but knowing. Do it, I say, now. You want to be in the room? No. Let them sit with it. I linger outside, watching through the dining hall's floor-to-ceiling windows. The lake reflects the moonlight, a mirror to my own quiet resolve. Ethan steps forward, taps his glass, and the room falls silent. I can't hear his words, but I know them by heart, having rehearsed this moment in my mind for months. As part of our new ownership transition, we're honored to share that Clear Pines Hospitality Group has acquired full control of this resort. And tonight, we'd like to acknowledge the individual without whom none of this would be possible. I step back inside. My heels click against the hardwood floor, each step a declaration. The room feels smaller now, the air charged with anticipation. Miss Nina Caldwell. Forks clatter against plates. Mouths drop open. Haley blinks like she's seen a ghost. Lauren's wineglass freezes halfway to her lips. Uncle Ron's face flushes crimson, his napkin crumpled in his fist. Darlene's eyes narrow, searching for a punchline that isn't there. Ben stares at me, his expression unreadable, shock, perhaps, or something deeper. He doesn't smile, doesn't speak. For the first time in years, I don't care. I'm not waiting for their validation. I'm not seeking permission to belong. This isn't revenge, it's redemption. It's me, owning the room, owning my work, owning the woman I've become. I nod to Ethan, a silent thank you, and walk back outside. The lake stretches before me, vast and unyielding, its surface catching the stars. For the first time in years, I feel free. Not because they finally see me, but because I see myself. Thank you for listening to The Quiet Owner, How Nina Caldwell Took Back Her Power, a story of resilience, self-discovery, and the quiet strength to redefine one's place in the world. This narrative was produced by the Story Hub, a platform dedicated to amplifying authentic voices and transformative journeys. If Nina's story inspired you, we invite you to share it with others who may find meaning in her journey. The Story Hub is committed to showcasing stories that illuminate the human experience. We are grateful for your time and engagement. Until our next story, this is the Story Hub.